A very warm and pleasant good morning to all my dear students. Let's continue chapter 8, Habitat of Living Things. In the previous class, we discussed about role of biotic components, that is plants as producers, animals as consumers and microorganisms as decomposers. Let's take a quick recap what we have studied in the previous class. As you all know, green plants prepare their own food with the help of sunlight, carbon dioxide, and water, and this process is known as photosynthesis. That food is utilized by animals which are called as consumers, because animals depend upon plants for food. Animals, they depend on plants for food. Then we studied microorganisms as decomposers. Now, what do decomposers do? They break down the dead remains of plant and animals into simple substance, and they are called as decomposers. And the animals, or you can say the organisms that feed on dead remains of plant and animal, they are called as scavengers. Now, I hope you remember that scavengers are known as nature cleaners because they play a very important role in biosphere. What is the role of decomposers? As they are converting the dead remains of plant and animal into simple substance, that means they are releasing nutrients from dead remains or decaying matter of plant and animal, and that will be used again. That means it is recycled and converted back into usable form. Then they are also called as nature cleaner because they are cleaning the dead remains of plant and animal from the environment. So, food chain. This you all know that plants as producers providing food to the consumers, and after that the consumers dead remains of consumers will be eaten up by the microorganisms like bacteria, fungi, like as we can say decomposers and scavengers. Now, interdependence of plant and animal. Plant and animals, they depend on each other for their survival. Now, animals, they depend on plants for food, whereas plants depend on animals for carbon dioxide. So, this is how interdependence is there in the nature. Now today we will discuss about effect of abiotic component, that is non-living component on living beings, out of which we are going to discuss soil today. Now soil is the topmost layer of earth crust. This you all know. It is capable of supporting life on it. It is made from rocks. Soil is basically made up of rocks. Now it is believed that over million of years, wind and water, they break down the rock into small pieces, and these pieces are formed as soil. This is called weathering of rocks. Now these tiny particles of soil, they get mixed with the dead remains of plant and animal matter, that is called humus. Bacteria and fungi, they break down humus to provide nutrients to the growing plants. So this is how humus is important for the growth of plants. Now topsoil is rich in humus, so it is very important for growing plants. Topsoil is also rich in nitrogenous compound, which are essential component of protein. That means protein means it is important for the growth of plant. Now what are the uses of soil? You all are already aware that soil is the topmost layer of earth crust and it supports life on it. But we should know about the uses of soil. There are more uses, like soil provide platform for plant growth. It also provides the nutrients and water needed for the plant growth. It also support roots of the plant. It provides living space for numerous microorganisms and burrowing animals like worms, slugs, snails, insects, rats, and snakes. Microorganisms in the soil help in the recycling of nutrient, that is decomposers. This we have already studied. Now, what is the texture of soil? Soil has mainly two types of particles: the coarse, large sand particles and fine clay particles. Now, texture of soil, we are going to study about the structure of soil, and it has basically two types of particle: coarse particle and fine particle. Coarse is the sand particle and fine is the clay particle. In addition, soil also contain silt particles and gravel. Gravels are the stones. Now, silt particles are smaller than sand, but they are larger than clay particles, and the gravels are the small stones. Now, depending upon the abundance of above particles, soil is divided into three types: sandy soil, clay soil, and loamy soil. Now, sandy soil has major proportion of sand in it. This type of soil is found in deserts. It is poor in nutrient because it has less availability of water, and it cannot hold much water. That is why. Now, so sandy soil is not suitable for agriculture. It cannot hold much water, it will absorb the water, so that's why it is not suitable for for the growth of plants or crops. Next is clay soil. It is mainly made up of clay particles. It can hold large amount of water. The clay particles, they become sticky and cling together, so it does not have enough space for air to enter. Now, what happened in clay particles? These clay particles, they basically become sticky to it, due to which there is no space for air. So, clay soil is rich in minerals, but it is not good for cultivation because root of the plants, they do not get enough oxygen. Next is loamy soil. It is a mixture of sand, silt, and clay, and it has good water holding capacity. It is reasonably porous to contain plenty of air. So, this is the best soil for agriculture. So, loamy soil is a mixture of sand, clay, and silt. It has good water holding capacity, and that is why it is also porous too. It allows the air to enter through it. It is porous to contain plenty of air. That is why this soil is good for agriculture, or you can say best for agriculture. So I hope everyone is clear with the concept of soil, effect of abiotic component on living things, and we discussed today how soil is formed, what is humus, what is the texture of soil, and what are the three types of soil, and which soil is best for agriculture. So that's all for today. I hope you understood the concept of biotic and abiotic component and role of both components on living things. That's all for today. Have a nice day.